The Source stopped by the St. Catharines Boxing Club this week, where adults are going toe-to-toe to benefit the youth of Niagara. 10 virtual newcomers to the sport are in the midst of training for the second annual Murphy's Gloves.
The whole community comes together and supports, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
We've got 10 newcomers on that card. What kind of advice would you give them? They're a month out from making their debut.
Just give it your all. I mean, they're training their butts off. You can see behind me. They're dedicated, and that's why I love the sport, because it's all on you.
The fighters on the card range from rookies and those who participated last year to those who haven't had the gloves on in decades.
Well, I used to do this about 30 years ago, actually 40 years ago. So, I'm familiar with everybody in the boxing realm and the kickboxing realm. Just wanted to get myself back in shape, and Joe actually was one of my students when I had the kickboxing club in St. Catharines on St. Paul Street.
What are your thoughts? You're a month away.
I have a lot to learn yet. I'm lacking skills, I think, but I'll be all right.
I understand most of the guys have been training since July. What have you seen in terms of your skills and your level of fitness?
I'm slightly getting better, but it's going to be fun. It'll be a fun night. So
I used to box back home a lot of years ago, back home in Ireland. So I got my son in it, and we came here and we've seen the quality of the coaches and just everybody that comes here to box. Everybody's just top people, really nice people. Everybody gets on. So I've been coming with Pierce. He's been training, and Joe says, I heard you used to box a lot of years ago. Would you be interested in fighting? And it just so happens I'm fighting one of my good friends that we used to play football with for a lot of years. That's Kevin Long, so me and him are getting into the ring.
The event is named after Keith Murphy, a longtime coach at the club. Event proceeds will support Murphy's Kids, which essentially opens up the doors of the club to any youngster interested in taking up boxing.
Tell me about the past year, some of the trips you made that maybe you wouldn't have been able to go on if it wasn't for fundraisers like this.
Yeah, I went to Kansas City in the summer. I also went to the New York State Fair. And the Murphy's Gloves before made those trips possible, so really good.
Well, I've been here since January, and I've been to Kansas City in July. And then we went to Syracuse a couple months back, and Murphy's Gloves is like a good fundraiser because the kids who went to Kansas and Syracuse, we didn't have to pay for anything. All the funds went straight towards the kids, which is very beneficial for us.
While enjoying the experience of coming to the gym, the fighters are also happy to participate in an event that will benefit Niagara youth.
We've been to Quebec City a couple times, Kansas City twice, Las Vegas, Toronto, Rochester, Syracuse, Montreal. We traveled all over the place with the club, and these sort of events help finance that kind of stuff for kids that can't afford it, and it's a great thing. Anything I can do to help out, I always do.
As an educator, what are your thoughts on the cause that this event supports?
I see it all the time about kids that can't participate simply because of lack of funds. So to me, that was an appeal right away. This is something that right off the bat benefits kids, right? And it's for me as an educator, it's a good lesson, I think, for my school.
When the opportunity came to come in, it was more so when Joe explained what they were trying to do in terms of making sport accessible to kids that maybe don't have the opportunity. And in my time in schools, I've seen that sport's becoming less and less accessible to sometimes the kids that are most vulnerable, that need it most. And I thought this was a chance to maybe to help some kids to raise some funds and some awareness for a program that could help them get involved in something free of charge.
Murph is a great guy. I mean, he's been around this club 30 years, and he's well worth fighting for, that's for sure.
What's the cause mean to you?
It's important. I mean, we see, there's a great group of young kids in here that sponsored through Murph, and I think it needs to keep going. And if we can get a couple of volunteers like myself and Kevin Lamb and the boys, it's well worth it. It's well worth it for sure.
Murphy's Gloves takes place Friday, November 4th at the Meriton Community Center. Tickets are $10 in advance and $15 at the door. VIP tables are also available. In Niagara, you're watching The Source.